we're a global think tank. We are a unified collection of the world's biggest brains, deepest experts, and most influential and passionate stakeholders of digital economy. We're all gathered here for one mission and one mission only, and that is to make the world a better place. That is to empower digital economies around the world. For us, data center is the engine behind digital economies, and digital economy is the future of economies. And it all happens through global expansion of global exchange, and it can only happen by collaboration between energy entities and countries, and the investment outlets and the stakeholders in the digital infrastructure space. You have to be holistic, and you have to be tackling all these different dimensions in one go, otherwise you're missing the point. We host many countries here in Washington, D.C. We visit many countries around the world, trying to create partnerships that make sense for the digital economy. We're trying to create a global dialogue and global cradle of resilience for digital infrastructure. Everybody wants to get into data center business. Everybody wants to have a piece of the data center industry right now. Investors are calling us, countries are calling us, builders and owners and operators, landowners are calling us. And everybody wants to be having a share into this massive exponential growth of this great industry. But the question is, if you have land, if you have money, if you have resources, and if you want to be in this, what kind of data center? What size of data center? I mean, do you want to build an edge data center, core data center, traditional build, AI build? If AI, is it going to be inference or learning? Where are you going to build it? How are you going to provide the energy? Is your land good for X type of use or Y type of use? What kind of utilities and resources and even manpower are available around your facility and around your specific location? How are you positioned to compete globally with the rest of the world as a data center if you are in a specific location? How are you positioned globally if you are an investor and want to be in a specific type of data center offering? Which industry verticals do you want to address? These are the key questions. If you are already owning a data center and you want to increase load or capacity, or you want to move into new AI workloads, and you have an existing setup and you want to move away from your traditional build while maintaining your operational capabilities with your existing load, but also building new capacity, should you go to public cloud? Should you build a hybrid cloud model? Should you expand to more data center sites and locations? What is the best remedy for you? And by the way, the best remedy for customer A might not be the best remedy for the customer B. So these are all critical questions that need to be answered by experts in the field. You can't just go and create an ecosystem of assumptions based on assumptions. You have to have a leveraging system that leverages on the experiences and the workmanship of people who have been there and done that and are in the cutting edge of this technology. Whether you have a chip, whether you have a large language model, whether you have money or you have land or you have resources, whether you are a nation and you want to build an ecosystem that makes sense for your digital economy to prosper and grow for your citizens, what are the wisest steps that you can take to take your country, to take your land, to take your investment, to take your chip, to take your passion forward? And this is exactly what IDCA does. We don't do consulting work. We do strategic advisory work that is specific to this field and specific to this industry. And it's designed to take you from point of interest to point of success. There's a lot of research entities out there, but our mission and our mandate is to research around the digital readiness of nations and economic zones around the globe. So how do you rate in terms of your high performance compute, in terms of your manpower and human capital, in terms of your laws and legislations and your investment incentives and potentials? How do you provide an ecosystem that makes sense for the growth of digital economy? That's what our research does. That's a fundamental element that no other organization has ever tackled in such a way that holistically takes the entire planet under research and delivers and renders data that makes sense for investment outlets, for United Nations, for countries, for data center owners and operators, so that they can all make decisive and successful decisions based on that data. We believe that IDCA is the pioneer of the digital economy notion. US is the world's largest digital economy, but it was not tagged as a digital economy. I mean, the traditional wheels of economy are not churning anymore. What really, the Googles, the Apples, the Amazons, and the big tech companies, internet companies, where would their valuation be without the data centers? Think about it. How critical is the valuation of one of the largest companies in the world, let's say NVIDIA, if there is not enough data centers to be able to buy up their chips? what would happen to their stock prices? What would happen to their valuation? What will happen to data centers if there is not enough energy to fuel up those data centers? So this entire interdependency of energy, data centers and chips and applications and data as the most expensive commodity in the world, they create a digital economy. So for you to have a prosperous and sustainable digital economy, you need to have a plan, number one. You need to have an overarching plan that defines where you are today and where you need to be in 10 or 20 years. And then within this plan, you need to have a national standard or a legislative system or governance methodology that governs how things should be done within your ecosystem. Then you need to have an education plan. How are we supposed to fill the gap of the workforce that exists today? We have a huge shortage in our industry today, in millions globally. And then the next thing is you need to have the right infrastructure. How do you build the right infrastructure? How do you build infrastructure and where do you build it and to what size and scale? You don't want to overbuild, you don't want to underbuild, you want to build just right. I'm a big proponent of the fact that you cannot build enough data centers, but you need to build the right kind of data centers. You cannot be just building data centers. There's a lot of empty data centers out there. But if you build an obsolete data center that doesn't cater to the load, the new load and the new workloads, you're missing the point and you're going to be wasting a lot of resources and energy and time and money. So building a digital economy is all about building the right ecosystem that makes sense for your economic zone, for your state, for your city, for your county, for your country, for your nation. And that's the level of conversations we're having with everybody else in the world. We're gathered here to make the world a better place. We're here to create a difference. We're not here to observe the build out of a bunch of data centers. We're here to make sure that the data centers are actually going to make the lives of everybody else better. So our mission is very clear. We're empowerers and creators of digital economies around the world.